Hello, I'm Rachel Plant from Beyond Birth Trauma, and I wanted to talk a little bit this morning about what we actually mean by birth trauma. So, if you hear those words, birth trauma, often there is a picture of, someone having an emergency cesarean section or being separated from their baby at birth, or some kind of medical intervention, something going wrong, something that is a shock and is out of their control, feeling powerless. And all of that is very much part of the work that I do. I work with women that have had that kind of birth experience that was traumatizing. But I also work with people who have, and they're not necessarily aware of it, but they experience some kind of trauma during their own birth. And that can be trauma with a big T or with a small t. So their mother might not have actually experienced trauma during their birth, or she might have done, but there was something in the way that they came into the world where something wasn't as connected or as calm or as flowing as it could have been. And so something was left unresolved at that point in time. And coming into the world leaves a massive imprint on us, on our system. And so our nervous system, if something is unresolved, it will try to, it will attract situations throughout our lives to try and resolve that wasn't resolved initially, if that makes sense. So often those patterns and those beliefs that we have, those situations that we keep getting into throughout our lives, with the same kinds of people in the same sorts of situations, the same sort of things happening in friendships or relationships or the workplace, they can often, when we trace it back, they can often stem back to our birth and how we came into our birth. There is something big that is trying to be resolved again and again and again. It's like our subconscious is offering us the opportunity to resolve it by recreating these situations. So often the work that I do in the Beyond Birth Trauma, in the Heal Your Birth sessions, it's about, even if a woman has experienced a traumatic birth, giving birth to her baby, often if we go back and resolve her own birth and kind of the beliefs that were created initially, then that has a really profound effect on all of what happened, and going forward, how she is able to go on and to have, a more calm and connected and beautiful birth, what she wanted to have originally. So it's like all of these things are interconnected. It's like when we're giving birth, it's like that initial imprint can really show up. So the Heal Your Birth sessions, they're not just for pregnant women or women that have experienced birth trauma, although they very much are, but they're also for anybody that's ever been born, and has these patterns or these behaviors or these things that keep repeating. And no matter how much, inner work or therapy they've done, they don't seem to shift. Other things might shift, but these core beliefs, these core patterns, they stay. So it can be really, really beneficial to go back and just have a look, just feel into what happened during your birth. Excuse me. And obviously it's precognitive, so we don't necessarily have a conscious memory of what exactly happened, although we might have clues. We might be told we were born by cesarean, or we were born at home, or we might know that we were a twin birth. All of those things have an impact on how we feel coming into the world. But also, if we tune into it, if we feel into it intuitively, we can pick up the energy, even though we don't have, we couldn't verbalize it necessarily at that point. We can really pick up on a lot of information that's held in our field when we feel into how it was and how it was to be in the womb. You know, what messages do we pick up from our mum, from our dad, from the environment around us? It's all really interesting and holds the key to a lot of how things have played out for the rest of our lives. So if you're interested in having a chat and seeing if a Heal Your Birth session could be for you, then feel free to DM me, and yeah, we can have a chat.